Hi, I'm Kim Hayden from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm super excited to be part of your journey of the Money Medicine Summit. So we're going to be talking about the 3 P's of property prosperity. Let's see what we got here. We're going to quick overview, introduction, a little bit about me, the 3 P's of presentation, the positioning of your property, and price, of course. And then we'll have some questions in the closing. Okay, so I am the host of Homes and Lifestyles Canada. It is a show, local show here in Alberta, just showing home tours and the vibrancy of the city itself. I'm an award-winning team with nearly 1,300 transactions since 1999, my husband and I, and now my son is getting licensed, so it's all generational. I believe there are 3 P's to property prosperity. The 3 P's of property prosperity, take a close look at the 2 words. There's only 2 letters that are the difference between property and prosperity. Strategy and information, for the S and the I. So today I'm hoping I can give you an informed strategy to make these right decisions so you can make your property prosperity. So the 3 P's. You have the most influence over your presentation. You also have price and position. But we're going to start with home preparation. Okay, so this is our presentation. Everybody wants to jump to price. However, the true market price cannot be established until you go through presentation and position. You'll have the most influence over the P for presentation. This is going to give you an opportunity to leverage your position in the market and gain a better price. A home and a house can be valued very differently on resale. A home presentation is often overlooked and undervalued by both real estate agents and home sellers. Yet you can give the home seller the greatest advantage in their market. The average home seller's age is 56, and yet the average home buyer is 32. With home and garden shows on television for the past 25 years, that is an entire generation of home buyers. You know, it's not surprising. They're going into homes, wanting them prepared. They want the reveal. So, you know, be prepared. Stage, and the statistics will show you that you have an average of 3 to 5% over and above the market average when you stage properly. Here you can separate yourself from the rest of the homes. Just 34% of listing agents will actually have all their homes staged. Yet, according to the National Association of Realtors, 81% of buyer's agents said that they believe that staging helps their customers, their clients, visualize living in the home. So buyers today are typically not looking for a ton of work, and this is just typical. This is not everybody. There will be buyers out there looking for opportunities, but the average buyer is anticipation of the reveal. They're not looking for work. So let's move on here. Oh, we don't want that. We want that. A house is not a home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as the body. Okay, so there's so much in this. This is not any new information, right? So we want to feed the prospective buyer a positive experience. One of the questions that I've received was, is there a psychological factor in staging? Yes, there is. By appealing to all 5 senses, you can make your home memorable in a good way. Google the term research of store sensory influence, and you're going to find a multitude of data going all the way back to like the 1950s. These are studies done on how people shop and what persuades them to buy. So sight, sound, scent, touch, and taste are all influence. They will all influence a person's home purchasing patterns. So the same goes for real estate as it does for any store. So, you know, let's just start with sight here. So sight, you got to see it to sell it, right? We hear the terms clutter eats equity and setting the stage for success. These are all common sayings, absolutely true when you're selling your home. A common question is, what is the most cost-effective way to add value to your home? Well, one of the most effective things you can do is to edit your space. All great books and movies are edited to achieve a cohesive storyline while retaining personality. So let's take a look at our full list here. So edit your space, declutter. I don't really like the term clutter. Declutter sounds like a negative, so we're going to go with the positive. That's edit. Edit the storyline of your home. When editing, you're going to consider painting. Painting has the biggest bang for your buck. Keep it simple with neutral colors, utilizing textiles and accent pieces for your color theme. Again, 81% of home buyers will like this. This is 81% will respond to this and start visualizing themselves in your space. When you're editing, think about the natural traffic patterns of your home. Okay, so we need to consider where people going to be going through the space. So you're going to want to ensure that all your natural traffic patterns are maximized in your square footage. Be sure to allow ample space for walkways. Keeping in mind that you may need to remove a large piece of furniture to create the spacious feel and maximize visual value. If they can see it, they'll pay for it, right? So staging your homes, not how you are going to live in your house daily. And this is, I hear this all the time. Oh, I would never live like this. Staging your home is not how you live in your house daily, but it's going to be how you sell your house. Okay, it's creating a commodity that others can visualize themselves in. To help create a warm and inviting environment, check your lighting. Lighting, this right here, lighting is critical. If you can't see it, right, you got to be able to see it. So lighting's often overlooked. When people prepare for sale, if the buyer can't see it, they're not going to be able to buy it, or they won't pay for the space. So make sure all your bulbs throughout your home, all your light bulbs, make sure that they're all the same color, they're the same wattage, so they all match. I suggest steering clear of the blue cast bulbs. They could tend to make your space pull in. They tend to be a little bit darker, and some people can get headaches from them. So that blue cast is not so great. If you have dark corners, invest in some floor lamps or some side table lamps. You know, kind of light your space. And a great option is, if you work late or if you're not home, is invest in timers. You can purchase a few well-placed timers, and this can give you the light in front of the home as well as greeting the home buyer and giving them a welcome feeling when they're coming in off of a dark night. So another question that I get is, you know, home improvements. What pays in resale? Let's see what's on my next slide here. Pretty sure I have a slide on this one. Okay, what pays in resale? So the obvious of make sure you scrub. Big thing is get that home white glove clean. Okay, that's important. So the kitchen's the heart of the home, and you want to sell a home versus just a house, right? You want an emotionally invested buyer. When you scrub, elbow grease pays dividends. Kitchens and bathrooms are crucial to scrubbing as they're going to hold odors and can turn off the buyers. So organize all your drawers, cupboards, because yes, the buyers do look inside the drawers and they do open up the cupboard doors. But you know, anything that's loose and floating around, find little baskets for. You can get them at the dollar store. You don't need to do anything super expensive. If the kitchen's outdated, one of the things you can do, I'm going to skip here and see if this is a great example. If the kitchen's really outdated, remember the average age of a home seller, 56. The average age of a home buyer, 32. So this kitchen was done back in the 80s. Take a look at the kitchen. We got rid of the 1980s tile. We got rid of the oak color, because here in Calgary, oak is not a preferred color. All the original hardware we changed out. But you'll notice we didn't invest in new appliances. The appliances were perfectly fine. And the second top picked color of any time, anywhere, is always white. There's always going to be a trending finish. There's always going to be something. But always stick with white. So all we did here was we changed out the kitchen counters. We put up a new backsplash painted out the cabinets and put a new hardware on. The kitchen was fine, and then we just found a little floating table and stuff. So, you know, make sure that you're taking time to present the home. Some homes can take up to 2-3 months to prepare, but those homes that are prepared can sell in 2 or 3 days. So let me go back here and just make sure I didn't miss anything. I just get excited over this home. This was a really awesome transformation. Let me just go back here. See if I can get, where's, anybody see where the little cute, oh, there it is, awesome. So we're just gonna go back one slide, make sure I got everything in here. Oh, then, so kitchen, master bed, and bath, living, dining are all the key rooms that you want to stage and paint. I highly recommend every single person to invest in fresh bedding for the master bedroom, because the master bedroom is who's gonna be paying the mortgage on the property you're selling. So, you know, fresh bedding, fresh towels for the master bath or the common use bath. Get something you love, because guess what? You're taking this with you. You are going to have this in your new home. So get something you love, but just wrap up the master bed like a present. Just wrap it up so that when the next homeowner that is going to be paying the mortgage, they come in and they go, oh, I could see myself in this space at the end of every day. So let's go here. Don't mind me. Did I mention I'm not very good with technology? Okay. So another component that a lot of people don't see is creating is the scent of a home. Okay, the scent of the home is, you know, very important. Your olfactory will actually dial directly in to your memory retention. So you know, things along the lines of, we've already scrubbed. So I've told you scrub, scrub, scrub. So you know, the scrubbing will remove your cooking smells, things along that line. So all sorts, you can look up sensory input, you know, the scent olfactory input. And you're going to find that the research shows that, you know, orange scent will reduce anxiety. Vanilla and lavender are good for reducing stress. And then, you know, cinnamons and breads and cookies, that kind of thing will trigger memories. A lot of those coming from holiday times. So on scent, be very cautious of a few things. Distinct cooking smells like cabbage, fish, and curry can reduce the percentage of prospective buyers because they may not like those types of things. I know in my house, mushrooms are off limits. Nobody wants mushrooms. If mushrooms had a smell, my kids wouldn't come. Oh wait, if mushrooms had a smell, my kids wouldn't come home. I just think I found out a way to get rid of my kids. Okay, so back to the class. So what you don't want to do though is to use anything, the heavy synthetic scents. Okay. They can trigger, there's a lot of scent sensitivities, so you can go into like hospitals. They won't even allow you to wear scents in a lot of hospitals. So steer clear of anything that smells like, you know, eau de toilette and roses and all that other things. But we don't want to give the buyer a migraine, because I'm pretty sure if the buyer gets a migraine, they're not going to be putting in an offer on your home, okay? So different things that you can do around the home is like I said, scrub, have a nice scent that is the oranges or something along those lines, because you want them all stress-free, right? Now, when we're talking about percentages, so we've talked about 56%, or the majority of sellers are 56, age 56 or over, and the majority of buyers are 32. So let's keep going on this whole percentage thing. Less than 20%, and this is a big one, and there's going to be somebody out there who's going to take offense. I apologize that you're offended. However, less than 20% of all North American adults now smoke cigarettes. This should be taken into account when you're looking to sell and smoke, okay? So you need to smoke outside. You need to leave your clothing, your outer coats outside, all right? Don't drag that odor back into the house. Now we've got you smoking outside. We've got your clothing outside that you smoke in. Next, you need to scrub, 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 scrub. You'll most likely want to go through, open every window, no matter what time of year it is. Open your windows, set some fans in there, start really airing it out. Depending on how long you have smoked in the property, it's also going to depend the level of scrubbing you have to go into. washing the walls, washing the baseboards, fresh paint, wash the knickknacks of all your surfaces, wash the surfaces of all the knickknacks you have, every kind of picture frame, everything, wash it all. You can take baking soda and put that into your couches, and you can put it onto your carpets and let it sit for a few moments, then vacuum. That will help absorb some of their scent. However, if you've been in the house 10 years, you may want to replace the carpet, because a lot of that scent will retain in the underlay of the carpet. So you're going to want to replace the carpet and the underlay. Once you've got the air moving, you've got your surfaces cleaned, you've got your carpet deodorized, you've got your furniture deodorized, your knickknacks are clean, you got to keep that air circulating. Change out your air filter. Put on some vanilla onto the stove with the cinnamon stick, open up your windows and put out some fans. Get it moving. It is a ton of work. I'm not going to lie to you. Recovering a home that's been smoked in for a decade is a ton of work. However, it can open up the door to 80% of the non-smoking population. Otherwise, you are in for a sell time that is considerably longer, and you could sell for considerably less, and you'll only have 20% of the home shoppers that will be open to your home. Okay, so that's it for scent. There's a lot of work that goes into scent. So now we've got the visually, they're looking at things, we've scrubbed, we're white gloved, and we're going through scent. The next one is, and a lot of people don't think about this, but I want you to stop and think, what was the favorite soundtrack at the last wedding or event or party, anything that you've gone to? Think about when you go through your favorite store, what is the soundtrack? We're just putting these subliminals. We're making the home buyer remember your home. There's always a soundtrack of some sort to everything that can trigger a positive memory or a negative one. Think of Jaws. So, you know, we have all these crazy things that are associated to a soundtrack. So what is the soundtrack of your home? Smooth jazz, soft pop, country, you pick whatever you enjoy. Your home a lot of times will take on your own personal personality, right? So it's going to reflect, if you've got a country decor or you have an urban decor, just pick the music that will go along with that. Most cable companies, if you still have cable, will have music channels, or you know, you can go online and you can find and set a couple laptops throughout the house for music. Or here's your reward for all your hard work. You can go online and you can buy wireless sound systems for a few $100s and plug in your playlist on that and stick it throughout the home. Make sure there's one in the master, make sure it's in the kitchen, make sure that you have it in all the spaces that people are really going to stop and pause, right? So again, now you're getting a sound system and you got new bedding. I am like the best friend to hang out with. Of course, most husbands don't like it because their wives come back broke and arms loaded. So like I said, set your soundtrack. So sight, sound, scent, that's where we're at so far. And touch, because we've scrubbed all our surfaces. Now, I'm hoping nobody is actually licking your counters, right? We don't want anybody licking your counters. So taste really isn't overly applicable, but I bake in all my open houses. So it's a great way to make the home smell amazing and get the home buyer to actually, the prospective buyers to actually pause in the kitchen. I do it all the time. I believe great agents bake. And if you can't bake, just buy the little prepackaged cookies and take them into the kitchen and set the timer for 12 minutes and pop them into the oven. So just let your homeowner know that you'll be baking, because one time I melted a homeowner's entire 4 stack of plastic table mats. She had set them in the out of sight, out of mind. I went and turned on the oven, not checking the inside, so check the inside of the oven. Okay, so we've gone through all the key senses. So again, this is talking about staging before and after. This home here, I just have to let you know, when I first saw this home, I went into it, it was a free-range child home for 12 years. It was a small footprint on the main floor bungalow. meaning basically that scooters had been run around, balls were being thrown, kind of kids were allowed to be kids, I guess is a nice way to put it. The mom was exhausted and she was ready to find a space that would actually give division and separation for a family of 5 versus the bungalow they were in. So I looked at the house, and this, just so you know, this before is after we had already put close to $25,000 to prepare the home. So, but you're seeing it vacant. We had got it all stripped down. So the first thing we had to do is we had to identify how we were going to market the home. In its present condition, the home would have marketed for around $440,000 in the Calgary market. The last 2 comparables that were literally within just blocks of this home had sold for $505,000 and $540,000. So we had a lot of work to do just to engage the buyer, right? So the first thing we did is we found other living arrangements, because we didn't want to do the work and then still have the kids, you know, throwing balls and running scooters inside the home. And it would be less stressful if the family was not in the home. So we emptied the house completely. Everything's gone. The next is we had to replace all the damaged tiles in the bathroom. We had to paint every surface. And when I mean every surface, I'm talking all the baseboards. We had to paint all the doors. We had to paint everything. Because we were painting, we took this from the color scheme, which it was at the time when they built very popular, which was all the traditional kind of beige colors. And we updated it to a fresh light gray and the soft cloud white theme that is very popular today. We decided that because we were updating everything, we could update the finishings of the home also. So we had to paint out all the kitchen cabinets. We had to paint out all the bathroom cabinets and everything. We changed all the tiles because there was cracked and damaged tiles. Like I said, free-range child home. The carpets in the living room were beyond saving. We could not save them. So we pulled all the carpet out of the house. Again, getting that fresh home, new home smell. We did hardwood throughout the main floor, and we put carpet in the bedrooms and down into the basement. So in the very end, we had now invested about $25,000, and those are real dollars. It's not the dollars that you see in some of these shows where they do an entire bathroom for $1,800. The reality is upgrading and updating does cost money. So we put $25,000 into this house. We put another $2,000 in staging, okay? The home sold in 20 days for 98% of list price, and the list price is $529,000. So we went from $440 to $529 with a total of $27,000. So by taking the 6 weeks to prepare this home and do all the hard work, the homeowners got a return on investment of 2.5 times of what they invested to prepare the home. So to me, that's money well spent. That gave them, you know, close to $80,000 for $27,000 investment. So I was actually really happy. This is a really gorgeous house. So site, scent. Oh, I'm a little slow. See, I'm not technology. So there you can see all listed out for you. So site, scent, sound, sold. Okay. So there's a quote. I love this quote. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. So be the home the buyer returns to. So we're going to move on to the next P you're going to have less direct influence over, yet it's important to understand your home's position within your current market. Properly positioning your home within the real estate market is a practical approach that requires the homeowner to kind of distance themselves emotionally from the home and take a look at the buyer's perspective. Okay, so positioning is knowing where your home stands in the market, the demographics, the geography. You know, it's an opportunity to really understand where your home is at from where you purchased your home maybe 5 years or 10 years ago. So is your home a one-bedroom bungalow in a community that is typically 3 bedrooms, 2 stories, right? Does the city census indicate that your community is primarily young families? And that may not be perfectly suited for a one-bedroom bungalow. So how do you market it? How do you find the buyer? So here's another scenario. The highway's expanded and now you see an overpass sign from your backyard. And these are actual real case scenarios that I have gone through after being in the industry since 1999. So how do you counter this? Okay, this P is where a truly seasoned agent can shine, okay? They will understand the public response to your home. They will help find creative marketing strategies. And they will be able to assess from the front curb to the back fence the staging strategies to find the next perfect homeowner. So it's knowing your market. So a bungalow is an ideal one for grandparents or professional that is looking to live in a vibrant young community. The home with the view of the overpass is ideal for a backyard makeover. Go in there, plant some trees, out of sight, out of mind, right? Maybe you need to invest in a great little patio fountain to create a backyard oasis instead of a backyard that overlooks the overpass. We aren't trying to keep in line or compete with the home that's on the secluded cul-de-sac. But we're trying to showcase what a great home this home is that you're presenting to the market, and that it has tons of values while removing the visual reminders of a less than perfect location. So, like I said, understanding so we've got the geography and we've got the market, but the time of year can also influence your position. A small yard due to the rear attached garage is great for the winter markets. The huge yard with the no garage is awesome for backyard summer barbecues and such. So get everybody over. So it's how you market the home, right? So this is about what market you're in, okay? Understanding the market you're in. Are you in a home buyer's market? Are you in a seller's market? Are you in a balanced market? So other things to consider. Be sure to dress up the outside of your home to best display its attributes and appeal. Okay, so we're talking flower boxes, front door wreath, the inviting doormats, or funny doormats. I've seen some really good ones out there. So ensure that your home is easily recognized and remembered by the home buyer so they feel invited in. Often the homeowner has been in the home for a really long time. So when this happens, the neighborhood demographics can change around them. You can't roll back time, so now we need to assess. And remember, we went through the one house that had the oak cabinets, and we painted them out white. You need to assess what you're going to do there and how you're going to adapt. Home values literally shift block by block and week by week and year by year. So due to walkability, size of lot, density, and amenities, and the age of the home, it can shift the value of the home. Okay, so the key mantra in real estate is location, location, location. Somebody asked that question. Is that really the key mantra? Absolutely, absolutely. This is the truth in real estate. Where's your home within the market? Where's the location? So value can influence whether the home sells or not. A home with a busy location or close to a detractor like a landfill or a drop-in center can sell for fair market value by addressing the presentation of the property that will attract a buyer, okay? So many buyers are just looking for an opportunity to move into the preferred neighborhood. And it may be an opportunity like this home. So like I said, we're not trying to compete against the cul-de-sac homes or any of those. What we're trying to do is to preserve the value of the property itself. So at the end of the day, most homes sell if all 3 P's have been addressed. So are you looking at the presentation of the property? So be prepared. Scout's motto, be prepared. And be practical in the positioning, and you'll be happy in your real estate decision. So let's move on to What is everybody's favorite? The one thing everybody wants to know about is price. And we all hear the buy low, sell high. This is a Wall Street mantra. However, if everybody lives by, live and die by buy low, sell high, no buyer or seller would ever come together. So everyone wants to dive right into price, but you cannot go into price if you are not first addressing the presentation and the conditions of the market. Okay, so presentation is obviously staging, cleaning, making sure the home fits within the community. Positioning is understanding your market, be it market conditions in real estate, which is buyers, sellers, buying market, selling market, or balanced market. The positioning can greatly influence also, and in some cases can overcome the home flaws, like is it next to a landfill, and result in a solid sell price. In some markets, like here in Calgary, we're just treading water. We're just hoping to break even, okay? So staging can help these markets. I'm gonna go back here to my other slide. I've got a great slide on this, and we'll bring this up for you. Where's my little cursor thing? Here's my little cursor thing. So we're gonna bring this back real quick. And this is an explanation of buyer's markets and seller's markets that I've utilized since I started back in 1999. So staging can help these markets. An example would be as a market like here in Calgary that has declined maybe 10%. If a home is beautifully staged, it can stop the slide. That's the biggest thing, is stop the slide in the pricing and provide a quick sell or a faster sell than what the market is typically seeing. The faster you sell, typically the market is the stronger the price. Some people have asked, what if I underprice my home? Okay, here in Calgary, we don't see that, because if you underprice your home, quite frankly, you're going to get competing offers, okay? Some markets, however, that's how that market operates. I remember when we sold our home out in Toronto, it was where you would list it slightly below the market average. You would then wait for the weekend. Everybody would go and do their tours and see it with a realtor, and then we would be open to accepting offers on the following Monday. We did a bit of that back in 2007 here in Calgary. So then that would lead you into the multiple offers, which again brings you back to where market value is. So don't worry about the whole, am I going to underprice my home? So real quick, buyer's market, seller's market, and a balanced market. Remember, you, the seller, do not set the price. The buyer does not set the price. The market will set the price of your home. Knowing the market you're in will make a complete difference in your success, or the feeling that you have been successful in selling a property or buying a property. So the buyer's market, real quick, is that when there's a surplus of listings and a shortage of qualified buyers, okay? That's kind of where the Calgary market is right now. The seller's market is just the opposite. It's what we would have experienced in the Calgary market back in 2007 when everything was on a rush, and I think the States was on a rush, and pretty much everywhere was kind of building quite quickly in 06 and 07. So that is a seller's market where there aren't a lot of homes, and the buyer will feel pressure to immediately get in that house and immediately put in an offer for whatever the home seller wants. My personal favorite, quite frankly, is a balanced market. This will give the home buyer an opportunity to sleep on it, and it will give the home seller an opportunity to see their realtor work, okay? So they weigh their options, they review the offers, they take time, and then at the end of it, they all feel as if they've been fairly treated. It creates a win-win for all. So let's move. I have to give a big shout out to my crew for helping me with this presentation, because I would have cue cards and stick people if it was me doing this. Okay, so understanding the property inclusions and exclusions The presentation of the property is important, and the current market analysis. You're going to hear a term called CMA. So your CMA will incorporate your inclusions, your exclusions, basically, what's important in your market, right? So it gives the realtor and yourself, the homeowner, the opportunity to do the math. What is the value of a 5-piece bath? Because what is the value of a fireplace or a second fireplace? Does it have a double car garage or a single car garage? What is stucco versus siding within that market demographic? Okay, so every market varies. So working in tandem with an experienced agent is critical. It is so important. It's a win-win all the way around. If you don't trust your agent, then get a different one. Very simple. And if you don't trust any realtors, if you don't trust any real estate agents, then get your license so you can be confident in the sale process. And I encourage people to do that. I think, you know what? Get out there, do it yourself. Okay? It's all good. There's no harm. So here is the big one. Avoiding the pitfalls of overpricing, okay? This is really important to understand. In today's world, where as soon as you list your house, you are creating history. We have all sorts of technology out there like Zillow and Realtor.ca, all these things. As soon as you list a house, your home has a history. So it's important that when you do list your house, that you are priced right. When overpricing, you run into the risk of being listed a very long time. And then this poses the question for the buyers, what's wrong with the house? Oh, okay, why isn't it selling? Then the buyer moves to the next step. They must be desperate. So let's give a lowball offer and see what happens. Neither one is a good spot to be in. So overpricing can give you, and giving your emotional connection to your home could actually ultimately cripple your sales success, and the entire process can be frustrating. All right, so we're going to look at the common reasons behind overpricing. The common reasons for overpricing, okay? So I hear, let's see here, I've got to get X amount of dollars for my house so I can buy my next house. Well, at the end of the day, it's not up to the buyer whether or not you're going into your next house. It is whether or not your home has that value for the buyer. And Doug, my husband and I renovated a house a few years ago, so we're totally guilty of this. I did a big reno. Well, your reno may not be what the buyers are looking for. We were originally scheduled to have 67 pot lights and ended up with 137 pot lights. You could see our house from space. The next buyers maybe didn't want to be seen that easily by Google Maps, right? The original cost of the house was too high, so we saw a lot of this back when the market crashed in 2008. So people are coming in going, I paid $500,000 for my house, the market crashed, now the new market's set at $420,000. That's something that you need to talk to your mortgage broker and your realtor to see if there's opportunities to adjust. So building room for negotiation. This is the one that kills me. This is good in some markets. Some markets do this based on the buying trends within their community. However, I know in my market, we have about a 3% variable between list price and sell price. So just see what the market's doing. Remember, fishing creates history. If you're just going to see what the market does, the next time you really need to sell, they're going to be looking at the history of the home and they're going to go, why doesn't this house ever sell? What's wrong with it? Okay? A perceived emotional value over the actual value. And I see this a lot of times in homes that families have raised their kids in and stuff. And dad has actually changed out finished out the basement and put in the fireplace by his own two hands. We see this all the time. We'll see this in people who are hardcore gardeners and they've got these extensive gardeners. So they've got canning rooms or they've got games rooms or fitness studios. Just because it's something that is of interest to you does not mean that it's going to be of interest to the buyer. So you need to ensure that you're in line with what your market position is. Okay, so again, Scout's motto, take time, be prepared. So the next time you're looking to compete, you need to understand where your home sits, okay? You need to understand what is your market. Don't get greedy. Greed is one of the 7 deadly sins, so don't get greedy. Be open to the feedback and team up with an agent that you trust, somebody that you know, like, and trust, somebody who's experienced within your area. So there were a few questions that were sent that I wasn't able to actually fit within the 3 Ps, but I thought that they were really valid questions and I wanted to address them. So one of them is, does it ever make sense to rent versus buy? Okay, this is an interesting question because that's going to be market dependent, depending on how long you plan on being in the market and depending on where you're living. For example, if you're looking to relocate in 2 years' time and the market that you're going to be in has an average return of only 1% a year, it may be best just to look and rent, right? So that way you're not dealing with the cost and stress of selling the home. However, if you're moving into a market that's steady and consistent with an increase of 3% and all the job and economic forecasts are fairly strong, you know, and you should be safe enough to invest for a short period of time, like 24 months. So it just depends on market conditions, positioning, the presentation that you're going to put at the end, and what your risk levels are at. Now the next one, and that, does it ever make sense to rent versus buy? Some markets you just can't get into. Like there's some markets like New York that you can't get into, but you can go to Wichita, Kansas, and everybody can get into it if you got good credit. So really depends. Next one is, any tips for investing in real estate? Oh, this is a good one because this is the one my husband and I are always going at loggerheads over as to what the real steps are. Basically, you need to know your end goal. Are you looking to flip? Is this like one of those shows on one of those Harmon Garden shows where I'm going to buy it and flip it? Or are you looking to build a business of rental properties? You have to understand what your next step is or why you're doing it. What is your endurance level and skill set? Are you looking to just flip it, and do you have the professional skills where you can go in and do all the work yourself so you're saving the money? Then you're going to look for homes that are tired and worn and even much smaller than the surrounding homes. But be sure to look in good locations. If you're looking to hold, if you're looking to just flip something, you want to look in good locations because buyers want good locations. So buy the house that's tired, run down, or too small in a good location that has a good value price on it. Do the work yourself, and then no matter what comes up, you can turn around and flip it. So fix it and flip it. But if you buy a house that's not in a good location, like it's next to a gas station, it may have been that price because of its location. So it's just knowing those terms. So if you're thinking 10 years or longer, and those are going to be rentals, then those are the good properties to grab up that maybe are next to the gas stations or across the street from a landfill. Okay, this is the one that I find interesting. I want to take just a moment on this. So, how willing are agents to lower their commission fees, and is it worth the ask? Okay, the commission question. And I get this probably 50%. So when you look at 1,300 transactions, I've had an opportunity over, what's half of that, guys? That's 650 times I've had the opportunity to address this. So you get what you pay for. In everything, you get what you pay for. When it's a strong seller's market, sometimes there's more flexibility. It means that the realtor is going to incur less cost and carrying, so you may be able to get that. However, you need to understand that fees are not fixed. And actually, Alberta, where I'm at, is one of the least expensive places in Canada for a real estate transaction. It has no land transfer taxes, and the industry average commission, and like I said, average because there is no set commission rate. The average commission rate is 7%. The one that I charge is 7% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the balance, the sell price. keep in mind, real estate services is a business. It's you know, not just a service per se. It is a business. So you're going to have insurance, and you're going to have fees. You're going to have overhead for the agents. It's kind of like a bakery. So think about a bakery. If a bakery opened, it needs recipes, it needs ovens, it needs signage. Okay, it needs to let people know it's there. So a realtor needs an entire set of tools like technology, insurances, and such. This is, let's see if this, do I have that? Yes, yay. I have an awesome team. So this is here for your download. Take a look at it. I put this together probably close to a decade ago because people just need to see. So when I put it together, the average sale price was $400,000. We're about $478 now. Between two agents, though, that's half, right? So I'm actually, instead of $16,000 in commissions, I'm looking at $8,000 in commissions. So out of that, like any business, I have my taxes to pay. I'm going to have my cost of business to do, and then I'll have my income. So like any business, a good business is setting at an 18% return typically in profitability, and the profitability is what I consider my income. So I've got, this is an kind of a, it's a generalized setup as to what I'm paying for my desk fees, my vehicle, just so you know, I have to carry an additional insurance, just like a cab driver, marketing staff, community events, taxes, the office support, listing services. So as soon as I get a listing, most listings cost me anywhere between $600 and $1,200 right off the bat. So between the photography and the sign going in the lawn and making sure, Alberta, we now have set mandates where I think the only place in North America now that has to have all our measurements done where they are all verified. So every listing has to have verified measurements. We always see, you know, a good agent's probably going to be doing some charity work and some giving back to the community. So those are some of the things that you want to look for. So you're welcome to that. This is some great information here. Most agents go, oh, I didn't even think of doing that. And it's like, you know what, break it down. Most people think that we're going to Mexico every time we sell a house. I haven't been to Mexico yet. So there's another question I got here was, what do most people not know about buying and selling a house? Okay, so I would say a lot of people are unaware of closing costs, taxes, and home inspections, okay? I've had clients that have relocated from Calgary to BC, and they're always like, they email or Facebook message me and go, oh my God, you know, they didn't realize that there's a land transfer tax, and that tax is paid upon the closing of the home. Home inspections are critical. So whether or not you love the house, a home inspection can actually dictate, are you offering the right price on the home? So please note, I've had issues with home inspectors one home inspector in past, and they did miss something pretty big. But aside from that, most of them have caught things that could have cost my clients money. So it's good to have that investment of a few $100s, right? So when you're thinking of investments in buying or selling, think about the last car you sold. You probably scrubbed that car out and put a detail on it for $50 and then got the air freshener, and by the time you were ready to sell that car, you probably put in $100, and the car maybe sells for $10,000 tops or $1,000 or whatever. So it's actually a large percentage to the return on what you're getting from selling. So to put $5,000 into a home when buying or selling is really not much when you think about the return you're going to get. So another question that we got was, what are the right questions to ask when picking a real estate agent? So this is something that I put together. I put together this great book years ago. It's a selling guide, and it's on my website. You can download it for free, and there's actually an entire page in here on questions to ask a realtor. So this is important because, you know, first of all, is the agent full-time? That's a big one, because offers don't happen strictly after 5 p.m. and lawyers typically are not available after 5 p.m., right? So the agents need to be available when the transaction requires. So, just find a full-time agent, really important. You need one that's a professional full-time agent so you can be happy. What is the percentage of listings to sold within the first 90 days or the market average? So the market average, I always like to take a 90-day sales cycle and make that, what is my average? So my personal average is, I keep hitting my microphone. My personal average is 98% of list price within typically I sell 99% of the listings in the first 90-day sales cycle. So that's what you want to look for. You want to find out what their averages are. And what is their knowledge of the community or the city that you live in? That's important too, because the buyer's not just buying a house, they're buying a home and a lifestyle. So, ask about technology and the tools they use for everything from photos to measurements to market research and to actually communication, right? That's going to be important also. So, another good question to ask is who will answer the phone when you call? That's, when are they available? These are all good questions to ask. They're all listed on my website and my buying in the selling guide, okay? Buying and selling at the same time. Okay, this is one of the questions, and everybody always has, how do I move the money and make this happen? So first you need to access your market conditions. Is it a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market? Then you're going to need to approach your bank or mortgage broker and come up with some sort of bridge financing or financing, resolution. So if the money is in transit for 3 days, what happens? If the market's softer, like here in my home market of Calgary, I'd suggest that you look at taking time to prepare your home for a strong home presence in the market. Get your home on the market, and once you have the home on the market, then you go out and do a few showings and see, where you're at, and maybe you'll find a home at that time, okay? But just get prepared and have everything ready. Now, if it was a market like many in the States are going through right now, and where we were back in 2007, it's gonna probably be best to go out and talk to your mortgage broker, get your money lined up, go out, find the house, and then have a strategy to get your home sold and just ensure that it's ready to go. So when you find the house that you like, you can put in an offer and then get your home on the market. So then you can ask for a slightly longer possession so you can actually time things together. Your market experts, your realtors, can actually help you identify what market you're in and strategize as to how to maneuver through this. So what has been my biggest money aha moment? Well, the first one would be is don't have kids. I'm just joking. I love my children, I really do. Biggest aha moment would be don't have all your eggs in one basket. So this is more for the agents out there. Don't have all the eggs in one basket, diversify. Expect the markets to fluctuate. If you think that it's going to continue to ride high and never come down, there's a saying, what goes up must come down. So if it looks too good to be true, it is too good to be true. My guess is that you need to be a bit more cautious. Another one is my big aha moment is to be a bit more generous. I've been blessed to have helped hundreds of people over the years when they truly needed it, and I find that comes back and pays dividends to me. The fact that I can make a difference is huge. So at the end of the day, it's, I have a specific skill set that I can help others with. My favorite is that we had a minister that lived in the community that I specialized in, and Norm was amazing. Norm and Melissa, they put their heart and soul into the community that gave me the start to my business. So when they came to sell their home, that was an opportunity for me to give back to them. We are able to do things like offer help to in from the cold. Maybe you can go out and help build a house for Habitat for Humanity. So the biggest aha moment is take time and give back. Be generous with your time, with your knowledge, with your information. Don't be a hoarder. Don't hold everything to yourself. So all I can do is say thank you for your time. I hope I haven't bored you to death. You can reach me through my website, teamhayden.ca. Watch my show. Watch my show, homesandlifestyles.ca. There's no conflict, there's no nothing. We're just having fun and we're doing great home tours, and maybe you'll find some tips and tricks on how to do an amazing open house. You can email me if you have any questions, kimhayden@shaw.ca. All my social media tags, Kim Talks CA, Homes and Lifestyles, YYC, Kim Hayden 01 on Facebook. So I'd love to hear from you. I am just revamping this the seller's guide and a buyer's guide on our website, and you'll be able to download that if you want that information. So those are going to be up shortly for you, and I'd love to help if I can. Thanks, Carrie, for the opportunity, and take care.